G'day, Mate Man here today. 5 days ago, I uploaded a showcase of a 1.8 remake of the level Slaughterhouse by Ice Cave and more. This level kind of blew up, so I thought I would upload like a behind the scenes video of how I came to make this level, because I've had a few people coming into my comments questioning the authenticity of this level. I can assure you that it's all genuine 1.8. Everything here is easily replicable in the 1.8 editor. I have it open here just for reference, but I'm just going to walk you through this level like little by little and explain my design decisions going through it, just so you can get like a glimpse into the mindset I had while making. This is the original version of the level, not the original version. This is the optimized version because the original version of this level is password protected and I forgot the password. But that is my level. As you can see, this is my level. That is indeed Slaughter 18, like an older version of it. But the only version that I can copy with freedom is the optimized version here. So this is what I'm going to be using for reference. Here, this is all this is literally just me playing around with the editor, trying to figure out what I can and can't make, and cross-referencing it with this editor. So that's how a lot of these designs came to be. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so enough of that. Excuse the mic change. I just wanted a bit of a more tolerable mic, I guess. So here we are in the level in 2.2. Here, all I literally did was go side by side with the original level and painstakingly place all the blocks that I could. Some people brought up the fact that these little ball pieces right here were not in 1.8. They were. They're little pieces. They're just those. That's all they are. That's what all of these little red circles are throughout this entire level, so no need to worry about that. As for you clipping through this, literally the fake line made out of these little corner blocks, and the fake like black block is made up of rotated, I don't know what they call these, rotated like angular looking blocks. Going through the level, it's literally just more copy and paste, just like the original part. This is really self-explanatory. I don't think this needs any introduction. So we're just going to move along here. This here, again, self-explanatory. These block designs, from what I remember, are almost one-to-one to the original Slaughterhouse, or like, to the best of my ability at least. A common theme throughout this entire level is simple block designs, complex feel, because I wanted to replicate the feel of Slaughterhouse rather than the exact look. Trying to recreate it in 1.8 is just not something that can be done, like, realistically. Alright, so here we have the part that subverted most expectations, I'll say. A lot of people might have expected me to do a UFO with blue orbs like Darnock did in Wave. I didn't do this for two reasons. One, I forgot that level existed, and two, I thought it'd be pretty funny if it was a swing copter, because, like, it's a swing copter in a Slaughterhouse remake. That's pretty unexpected, I'll say. And it also just allowed me to have more diverse and varied gameplay. I haven't really worked with swing copter gameplay before this level, and it was a challenge, to say the least, to try and transcribe Slaughterhouse's gameplay into feasible swing copter gameplay. This deco didn't exist in the original version of Slaughter 18. This entire part went undecorated. The corner blocks didn't exist, the glow beams didn't exist, the structures and the clubstep monster still did though. A lot of these structures went undecorated in the original version. These arrows didn't exist, and the balls here didn't exist. I looked through Slaughterhouse just to make this part a little bit more accurate. Literally, all of this is just Slaughterhouse. Like, not really much to talk about here because it's just Slaughterhouse. It starts to get interesting around this point. If you don't know what this is, some call it the grief monster, I call it like the ice cave or the silent level monster, because this appears all over silent levels, or like ice cave levels in general. This monster is pretty iconic. A lot of people who are familiar with Impossible levels will recognize this monster. That's why I threw it in here. I thought it'd be like a nice nod to the original level, and as a bonus, a nod to the 1.9 remake made by, I forget who made it exactly, but they did the exact same thing as me. Okay, so this is right here. Everything from this part onwards isn't in the original 1.8 version. This is when I started working on it in 2.2. So I had to think pretty hard about how to make the river monster, because in theory it is a very complex design, but I essentially just broke it down into its like plainest and most visible details and tried to replicate them to the best of my ability. Obviously it came out, I'd say, a little bit messy, but you can tell that it's supposed to be the river monster, like especially when it flashes white. Moving along, I forget who made this part in the original level, but this part was arguably the hardest out of every single part, and Dr. Cuba's part afterwards. I mentioned this, but I wanted to replicate the way Slaughterhouse felt rather than the way it looked, because in motion, a lot of these details become like blurred and mixed together, making the block designs look a lot more complicated than they actually are, which I think is a pretty neat thing that a lot of creators take that into account when making their levels. I find it to be a pretty interesting phenomenon how the eye perceives things that are in motion. This was structured in a way that I wanted to surround it entirely around this spam part, because I was thinking while making it, wait, how do I make a spam corridor when you're a swing copter? The correct answer is you don't. You just have a normal ball with blue orbs. Coming into this part, I'm a bit of a fraud. The club step monsters in this part had a piece that wasn't in 1.8. I know, I'm a fraud. I actually put these pieces as the little glints of the club step monster's eyes. I confused those with these pieces. This here is the way the club step monsters are supposed to look, and this is the way they looked in the original level. I know I'm a fraud, you can flame me in the comments, I'm disgusted, and I'll never do it again. Dr. Cuba's part, I believe this is. One very prominent theme you'll notice in Dr. Cuba's part are the eyes. The eyes are absolutely everywhere in Dr. Cuba's part. And this wasn't mentioned in the comments, but somebody, when I was in Cole, mentioned that these eyes do not look possible to make in 1.8. They are incredibly simple to make. Let me quickly show you. So, what you want to do is you want to grab these two pieces, copy and paste them, like so. You want to grab the connective rod piece, plug that there. You want to place this behind that. And that's basically it. You have yourself a little eye guy. I decorated mine by placing these pieces all across it. But you can decorate it however you want. You can spam copy and paste it all over the level. It doesn't really matter. You have your own eye. All of this part, very, very hard for me to translate how it looked. So I just basically came up with totally original block design. Following the simplicity is key format that I mentioned like 5 times at this point. In motion, you wouldn't really notice any of this. I love how I synced the pulses to the music. This is like, I felt like it needed it for the moment. You're getting far on the level, you're getting hyped, and I feel like X-Step is a very underrated song. I mentioned this in my comments, but there are no rated extreme demons using X-Step. There are no rated extreme demons using X-Step as the song, and I know it's unlikely, but I hope this level does get rated. It's very, very unlikely that it will, but it'd be really cool if it does. I've already explained a lot of my decisions going forward, you know, the arrows made of these blocks. This monster and the monsters before that were very similar, very simple to make. You just put a glow ball behind these little spike rotating things. Not too hard to make. Someone asked why it goes orange in this part. It goes a little bit orange in that part in the original level, obviously not as sudden, but I wanted the orange and pink feel to be here because, I don't know, I thought it'd be cool. Okay, coming into the final straight fly here, this has been heavily nerfed in the like playable version. I might release Unnerfed Slaughter 18 after the nerfed and balanced version is verified, in case anyone wants to go ahead and give this silly unbalanced mess a try. You may have noticed I've abused this bug a lot. If you don't know, these, by layering slopes upwards like this, a lot less messily than that, you're able to teleport the player like a teleportal, which I spammed everywhere because it's very useful, and Slaughterhouse has a lot of little fixes like that. And here we are into the final part. Very simple deco here all around, nothing really to speak about except for this. I mentioned this earlier, it's just another fake block made out of corner pieces and stacked triangular parts. I wish nothing but the best of luck to Derpy when it comes to verifying this level. I'm sure she won't have a problem with it at all. She's been doing well balancing it and just like making this playable. But yeah, that's essentially how I made Slaughter 18. Very loose, just like walkthrough of my design decisions, I guess. Not really going too in depth, but I wanted to just have a loose explanation for a lot of my design decisions and addressing a lot of concerns people had with the level. Guess that's it. Cheers.